Yo guys, what is up? My name is Jeracraft and I believe I've said this once, said this twice, but I will proudly say it again. Mojang has been doing some pretty incredible stuff lately, and I'm sure by now you have all heard of Minecraft's latest edition, the Nether update, which has introduced some insane new features, together with new building blocks unlike anything we've ever seen before. As always, I like to take these new blocks and just experiment, in the hopes of building and discovering some truly epic designs. Now I've put together a long list of ideas, build tips and tricks. So guys, without further ado, let's begin today's adventure. Now honestly, I don't even know where to begin. There are just so many interesting new blocks, some of which have this very creepy alien-like appearance, but I really do love some of the new block animations and especially some of the new sounds associated with them. But let's start things off with one of my favorite new additions, which is the new chain block. There are just so many interesting ways of using them. So starting off at number 1 on this list, we have a new prison bed design. I always thought placing a bed might be too much luxury for a medieval or dungeon-like prison, but this design definitely works and fits the scene much better. Now chains also fit together nicely with levers, which also makes for a cool design idea when it comes to placing lanterns to light up your projects. I've also noticed that chains actually fit right through banners, giving you an interesting way of decorating some of your builds, especially when it comes to those huge empty spaces, allowing you to place a collection of banners right across the ceiling, just for some added decoration. It's a pretty simple idea, but I will definitely be using this in the future. But one of my favorite new designs are these interesting looking shop signs. It's just something I've always wanted to build, but unfortunately using iron bars or fence blocks was never really a good option. I did try a couple of different takes on this, but found that this design works best. I mean, I would have preferred this option instead, but unfortunately trapdoors don't really line up with chains, leaving a small gap between both blocks. Now some of you might be wondering how I placed an iron sword on the trapdoor. Well, there's this really cool feature coming to Minecraft 1.16, and it's a simple command which grants you with invisible item frames. This just opens up a crazy amount of new possibilities when it comes to building, and yet, out of all possible options, my first idea was to build a toilet. Yes, a toilet. I mean, it's still a pretty decent looking old-fashioned toilet. All you have to do is place any block on the invisible item frame and you have yourself a chain flushy. I mean, you get the idea. And here's another simple design for a kind of outdoor patio lamp, possibly for a garden setting or something of that sort. Just using that same technique for a kind of light switchy. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop now. But besides those ideas, invisible item frames can be used for a number of different things. For one, you can use them to make roads look even more detailed, with all kinds of small rocks, sticks and leaves just scattered all over the place. I mean, there is just a ton of invisible item frames on this one road, and the possibilities are pretty much endless. You can create anything from a fancy looking apple tree to a heavily decorated blacksmith. But sometimes just the smallest of details can make a huge difference, like a single sword placed on top of an anvil, or even just some banners placed around the edge of a lectern. I don't know why I like this so much. It's a simple idea, but I thought I'd show you anyway. But let's take a look at some of the other newer blocks added to Minecraft. For one, we have the new basalt blocks as well as the new blackstone bricks, and these two blocks in particular kind of resemble piles of coal and rocks, very similar to the cobblestone texture. But besides using them just to make barrels of stone and coal, now that we have chains, we can create some very cool looking conveyor belts, transporting materials across a mine. I've decorated this using hoppers, minecarts and even some invisible item frames. But I'm sure you guys can come up with many other unique designs based on this same concept. Right guys, now obviously these new blocks will give us a completely new set of colors when it comes to building, and I thought why not use the new blackstone bricks to make a very creepy looking dungeon / torture chamber. Yes, this is a torture chamber. So warning, this is about to get really dark and possibly quite disturbing. Can you imagine getting demonetized for this? Is that a thing? So anyway, pulling down on this lever will open up the secret entrance, and as you can see, there is a lot going on in this one room. The question is, am I wrong to say I absolutely love the look of this? Because I really do. The only thing is, this upside down villager is not my original idea, but if you still don't know about this trick, all you have to do is name a villager Dinnerbone using a name tag, and this works with practically any Minecraft mob, which is why I decided to also add some spiders on the ceiling for that extra bit of creepy factor. But the only issue is you might need to use barrier blocks to get the best result. But either way, this room is a new level of insanity, and I even found the perfect home for one of my previous designs, the world's most comfy massage chair. Now guys, out of all ideas on this video, this next one is by far my favorite, and of course, it involves the new Minecraft warped blocks. The funny thing is, at first I literally had no idea what to do with them, and my first experiment was to just try building a fancy looking archway using the new twisting vines, but I soon realized that these blocks might actually work best in a sort of underwater setting. So right through these doors, we have a fully transformed Ocean Monument Minecraft base. Guys, these colors just work so well with any ocean style build, with tons of blue and cyan colored blocks, twisting vines on both sides of this corridor, and best of all, you get a full view of the entire ocean floor. I mean, together with the aquatic updates, you can make some pretty insane looking underwater bases, and of course, you can use prismarine blocks, which also match really well together with the new Minecraft warped blocks. You can build a fancy looking bed, a fireplace using the new blue colored campfires, and even use shulker boxes as a form of storage. Now this next idea I just had to mention, even though I practically never use redstone, but in Minecraft 1.16 we have a new redstone target block. Now I'm sure some of you at some point may have come across a shooting gallery, usually found in theme parks or arcades. I think you guys know what I'm talking about, but this build is precisely that, and it's just a really fun way of practicing your aim, as each target will have its own sort of animation, and I can only just imagine what some redstone masterminds will create with this kind of block, but I hope this idea was worth sharing. Now in my last video we did a ton of experimenting with Minecraft maps, and one of you guys got inspired and sent me this chess club built using the same technique, and it's always nice to interact with you guys, so I thought I'd mention that. But this gave me a random idea of building a full-scale chessboard using the new netherite blocks. Since we now have netherite armor, we can create black and white chess pieces. Obviously, all the pieces are the same, but I still thought it was a pretty cool idea. And if you build this in survival, well then that's just a huge flex, because we all know that netherite is not an easy block to make. But guys, staying on the topic of Minecraft maps, this next idea comes from Jeracraft, and it's actually this really cool kind of build hack. So if you place maps on glass using invisible item frames, you can actually see right through the map if you stand on the other side, which means you can literally spy on people without them even knowing you're there. I mean, the direction this video is taking, first torture chambers, now spying on people, demonetized. So next up on this list, which I've completely lost count of, we are going to take a look at the new crimson blocks. Now I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of these pink colored blocks, so this time I really had no idea what to build with them. But I thought, why not use them in combination with some of the other new blocks to make a very interesting enchanted themed forest. Now I have to admit, this was a bit of an experiment, and it is an extremely vibrant build. I've planted a few giant mushrooms, added a couple of colourful banners, even some lanterns hanging down from the ceiling, and let's not forget the amount of random mushroom cows just wandering the forest. I just generally wanted to create this very fantasy themed build, and even though I did try building a house using the new crimson blocks, I honestly don't like the look of it, but hey, at least it matches with the rest of the forest. Now that's about all the ideas I have for this video, but there is still a ton of creations waiting to be discovered. So I hope this video sparked your imagination, and I hope you consider subscribing. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.